You're listening to Redman in the House. Hey, it's a podcast. Come back to Redman in the House. Hey, it's a podcast. As always, I am that RBV, Richard Bronson Vickery. And alongside, always here I'm for the ride. This is his show, always ready to go. But hey, he is feeling fresh. He is feeling fine. He's got a lot on his mind. It's the birthday boy, fresh off a vacation down in Music City, USA, partying all night, all day. Hey, that's what you're up to, Redman.
Oh, it wasn't pretty, I'll tell you, especially the first night. Oh my goodness, we got in there Sunday night, and me and Faye needed a CNI dog to get home. If I wouldn't have had Brad to get us in an Uber, we'd have been in trouble. Then we learned to pace ourselves, so we were okay. But what a great town, Rich. I'll tell you, I think I said it before. If you've never been, yes, it's a little pricey, but I'm telling you what, music, talent, uh, just a neat atmosphere for a town. It's like you go somewhere and shut the door. No outside world. You're just
Kind of like its own little hub there.
Yes, it's music, eating, and drinking, and shopping if you throw that in. But it's like, wow, what a great town! What a great bunch of talent down there, and we just had a blast. I'll tell you, it was awesome. But my birthday, I stayed pretty good on Friday on my birthday. I just because I knew we were leaving Saturday to come home.
Yeah, real
So,
quick on your birthday, do you want to thank everybody that gave you birthday
oh
wishes here on
yeah,
the
I
page?
mean, holy moly, I don't know how many was on there, but it was like on and on, and about a half a dozen pages out there. I really appreciate it. It's neat to have the love and attention and affection of people. You know, like I said on my little note I sent back on Facebook, that with all the stuff going on in the world, that people still, touch out and reach to people and show a little kindness and love. So that's great.
Absolutely. So let's talk about Nashville, because you always put
Hmm.
it over. You always tell me you're like Rich, you got to get down there.
Hmm.
I always tell you I'm worried I won't come back.
Yeah.
But as you said, there's so much going on, and really Nashville itself has. They've marketed themselves. They have positioned themselves to become a great entertainment hub. Always known for their music,
Hmm.
especially country music. But you see now, that they've developed like their hospitality areas, their shops. They're drawing major events. Most notably like the NFL draft has been there.
Hmm.
I believe there's talks for a WrestleMania to go there in the next couple of years. They've set a major standard for hubs for entertainment, which I think is kind of the spinoff there. And I'll let you go on this, but when we're sitting in Cincinnati, we always hear local with our local government talking about how
Hmm.
can we draw businesses. We're kind of in a bad spot here because you got Nashville below us. That's such a hotbed. Cleveland is rocking and rolling with bringing in big events.
Hmm.
Indy has already been set up for a long time for big events. The NFL draft. They do the combine there, Final Four, WrestleManias, and Cincinnati's kind of in the middle of that and lost its way. But tell me about some of your favorite spots that maybe Cincinnati could sample, or the styles. What makes Nashville so special to you?
Well, it's like Cincinnati has like what we call it,
The Banks.
the banks. It's okay, but it's not really. It's set up similar to it, but it's not. Like you go to Acme Farm down there, Farm and
Mhm.
Feed. It's an old feed store. Been revamped, beautiful building. It's got that great big. You can't get your hands around square pillars. When it was built, you see the arch in the doorways. When it was loaded off the river, and it sits right there on the Cumberland River. Well, you go up on the rooftop. They got a rooftop bar.
Oh, those are
Oh,
great.
well, guess what? Just across the river, Titan Stadium.
Oh, beautiful
Well,
view over there.
what is being built behind Titan Stadium, and it's bigger, it makes Titan Stadium look like a
Well,
kid's
their new
playground.
stadium, right?
Oh
That's why
yeah.
they're talking about WrestleMania. Talking about Super Bowl.
Oh, I think the Super Bowl will be there. It's a beautiful place. But Broadway's 4 blocks. But it's got other areas. It's got the Gulch. It's got different places you can go. You got Opryland. But Broadway, kind of the hub, is a 4 block area. Bridgestone Arena sits on the corner where the hockey team plays. You start at that corner and you can go 4 blocks to the river. There's bar after bar. You walk in, no cover charge.
Because
Now,
they know they're going to make it. They're going to make it up. They want
oh
you in
yeah,
there.
well, beer prices or drink prices are
What's
high.
I know you're a Bud Light guy, right? Or do
Mm,
you partake in anything like
yeah.
what's
Well, say like a Bud Light. If I go
mm.
in some, you can get like a bucket, $25. That'd be
Now
five
come on,
dollars a beer.
that's not that bad. You're just used to dealing with the low
Yeah,
amazing prices right here at the
yeah,
Harrison
here's
VFW
beer. That's
7570 in Harrison, Ohio. You want that cheap beer, you got to get here.
right. But it's like $5, and that's not bad. Then it'll range five, and I've paid as high as an $11. But that was a tall boy can. That was in Luke Bryan's place. Kid Rock's $9, but it's bottle. Most places are all bottles, and you can get buckets. And there's some that run bucket prices. There's some runs a couple beers cheaper too, like Blue Ribbon and I think Bush Light.
Bush Light.
Yeah.
Well, PBRs.
Yeah. But you go in, there's no cover. You don't have to buy. And you can sit there and listen to music, and the band plays 3 hours.
Let's say, is there
No break.
is there constantly, no matter like what time you go out, they've got some awesome music going on at these places?
There's about a 45-minute
I mean, you got to
change.
kind of hear pop
Right.
music sitting USA.
Right, but there's about a 45-minute break when one's tearing down and one's putting up, but they play 3 hours, and you there's no break like when you do one here.
You may have maybe
They
an
have
hour,
to take a half
45
hour
minutes,
break, 45 minutes, and these guys play constantly straight through, and there's so much variances. A lot of the places got 1, 2, and 3 floors, rooftops. So you got a certain bar like Kid Rock's place. He's got 3 floors. And he's got the main floor, then he's got the second floor, and he's got the rooftop.
Different genres on each.
Oh yeah, there's different band on each one, and you'll start out earlier in the day with like maybe a little acoustic and 2-piece stuff, and then about 2 o'clock it starts kicking butt a little bit more, progressing the music. And
do you have a favorite place?
I don't know. I like Kid Rock's place because there's a couple bands in there I like, but I like the older ones too. So. Yeah, I like the older ones too. Legends is such a neat place. Tootsie's a little crowded, popular. It's probably the oldest bar.
I'd say that's like a world famous.
Oh yeah, there's one in Panama City Beach or Panama City, and you go to Layla's, little hole in the walls, neater and heck, and they all have good music. Every one of them. There's Second Fiddle's getting refurbished. Had it closed up. But I mean, you got Jason Aldean, a bar down there. You got Garth Brooks. You got Hank Jr. You got Alan Jackson, Kid Rock, Jelly Roll, Mariah Lambert.
So many people.
Oh yeah, Old Reds, which is.
Oh yeah,
yeah,
So you know me,
Luke Bryan's.
total foodie here. What's one of the best things you've had to eat there? They got to have some amazing cooking.
Oh yeah, well they got great barbecue places, and then they got. I mean, you can get some good catfish down there. You can get some good chicken strips. Steaks are pricey. I splurged myself one night and get the New York strip, which is excellent in Kid Rock's, but it's pricey, but it is good, and you don't go out hungry.
Well, return on investment's worth it.
Oh,
You're gonna pay, but you're gonna have an amazing. Hey, we should go down there and open like a Cincinnati chili stand.
Well, I teased the Japanese restaurant that we need to go down there and put one of them hibachis in there. I think we'd be making money, or better yet, a Waffle House. I said for breakfast about 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
People are getting juiced up.
I'm sure there's a bunch of breakfast places.
Well, there used to be a little place called the Paradise. And it looked like an old trailer. And they served the best cheeseburger and tater tots ever. And when you were drinking, I was about absorbing up the alcohol.
You want all that grease to soak that all up.
Yeah.
Heck yeah.
It was excellent.
Well, I'm glad you had a blast down there. I know you look forward to it each and every trip you go down there.
Yeah, we're going back and keep fingers crossed November. We usually go the day after Thanksgiving, spend a few days down there because it's a good week, it's cooler, and a little less crowded because people spend all their money for Thanksgiving. So we started learning going that week. And it's a happy time for me, but to lead us into our regular show, it's kind of a sad time. July has been my birthday month. We should be full of celebration. I got a lot of friends celebration, but I got 3 people today. And
well, it's still a celebration of life, and that's
yes.
really why we like doing it.
Different celebration, yeah. But it's kind of a sad celebration, but sad. A year ago, this month, great racer, he raced in at least 4 divisions. A guy named Don Kennedy, great super stock racer, great human being. I'd met him years ago. He used to have his engines built in Cincinnati at Ellison Engines, and he ran Division 5 at that time. Then he wound up in West, and he sold insurance to racers for their trailers, their cars.
Very, very cool.
Oh yes. Well, his wife's job transferred him to the Nashville area, and he was living in Gallatin and having a blast, and really got the car running fast. And they brought it to Bowling Green. Tony Mandela drove it last year, and Don on his bed told Tony, he said, let her eat. He says, I'm not having to worry about it no more. He said, let her eat. So they ran quite quick. But Don was a great guy, always nice, great ambassador for drag racing. He had the racers' interest at heart. Uh, he was a big backer of me, knowing some of the things I had gone through. He always loved seeing me because he knows I treated every racer as square and as fair as I could. But just a great man. We lost him a year ago this month. Well, bringing us up to this year, we lost two within a week. Great guys. Um, Last week while I'm in Nashville, we lost Marvin Benoit. And Marvin Benoit ran the company called Fuel Tech, built carburetors. He had broke off from Holly and started his own business. And Marvin, great guy. His daughter raced Super Comp, and he raced Super Gas, and then he got into a stocker later on in life because he had some health issues, so he couldn't do the 990 and got into a stocker. And a great guy. He put on a cookout down there at Bowling Green on Thursday for the racers, like a little welcome dinner and everything for quite a few years down there. Marvin was a great guy. He was just a blast. And my last one, we just lost the 20th, a great competition eliminator driver, Steve Ambrose. Me and Steve, we celebrated our birthdays together. He was a year younger than me. He was born on July 17th. And just lost him, just found out, broke my heart when I read it on Facebook. And I called Jay, my former boss, and he didn't know, and it just happened. And Jay he told me on the phone, he said, I thought something might be wrong, because he said, usually he acknowledged when I'd send a happy birthday. But Steve was a great ambassador too. The whole team was fabulous. If you ever seen him, ran 6 cylinders, Varsity Ford sponsored cars. And he'd been division champion a few times, been single digit in the world. Um, just an all-around great team. When they'd come into the pits, they'd be a smiling and, hey, Redman, you get done, come down, we'll have us a full one together. And I mean, they'd haul down from Michigan all the way to Bowling Green, Gainesville, everywhere. Had a black van, solid black van. They towed a white, about 24, 26-foot box, and had that car in there with the parts. But just great racers, those 3 individuals. And it sure brings my July down a little bit, but I try to stay up because I know they'd want me to, and they would be here with me and they'd be up. So just great guys.
Well, I think, what's so special about, especially this segment for you, but to the show itself, this is remembering there's unsung heroes. And, when we asked about, writing a book, I said, let's go video form with this. And this will be something that will be saved forever to keep their names going. That people can, remember, hear their great contributions, what they meant to the sport of drag racing, what they meant to you, and so many others that were in their life. I do feel a little remiss because, we were talking about the good time you had down there. I know you hung out with some friends in there.
Oh, yeah. I mean, when we talk about racing, it's a great time, and there's some that live in the area. So when they find out I'm coming, they come down and have a beverage with me. And on Monday, we had Mike Fuqua. Mike's been former IHRA world champion, division champion. He runs Super Comp, Super Gas. He still races a little bit. He's thinking about running Bowling Green. He told me he's going to be somewhere else too, but he got into boats, and he's been doing that. Just got married, and he come down, had a couple beers, and we got to BS a little bit. He always tries to make it down. He lives in Hendersonville. Great guy Mike is, and he was telling me a story about how him and Anthony Bertozio and I forget who all else, when they went to somewhere and had a blast together. And then I had some racers come down. There was Corky and Mike. They run Stockers, Wolfle. And then Jim Costello come down with his wife, and he runs Super Gas. He's out of Illinois. They brought friends. And then George and Vicky Warren come down. He runs stock and super stock. He's got Thunderbolt and also a Fairlane, 67 Fairlane for stock. And they come down. We had a couple of beverages together. So they come see me whenever they can. And then, well, when I work St. Louis, most of them are there. And then if I get a chance to work Bowling Green this year, I'll see them.
What kind of cool, a little different environment, kind of hanging out, just kicking back, remembering good times. I'm sure the stories, we maybe I should go out on a work trip, but maybe we couldn't even air some of this.
Oh, God, we'd be along in that. We'd blow this camera up because it's so much fun. The people you meet on the way down. I stopped and had lunch with Cindy Summers, Widow Gary, and then George and Vicky were there. Tom and Wanda Turner were there. He runs stock and super stock. And Scott Vander Walker and his wife came. He runs super comp. Got a Viper body style with a Yanger in it. So he's a neat guy. And they came. We had lunch on Sunday on our way to Nashville. And but you know what? Rich, through all the hardships, like I said, I suffered a lot, missed a lot. In other words, things family wise and stuff to do what I did for all these years. But on the flip side, the good side of it is I met so many.
You made a second family.
Oh God, so many wonderful people, great people, and just I wish I had words. I wish I was a better speaker to know words that I should know to put it out there without being too fancy. But they're just great people out there, I tell you. And then, like you say, all the birthday wishes on Facebook. When I read some of the names, I just like, wow.
I think you can speak volumes without verbalizing it. The body
Mhm.
language or the emotion you're given, and I do want to make that point to share with everybody. Those individuals that are involved in drag racing, if it's from any aspect of it, from the drivers, the crews, the wives, the children,
Mhm.
any of that family, especially the track crews, the
Mhm.
dedication, the commitment, they are long, long days. These
Mhm.
individuals will put in 40, 50, 60 hours during the week at their day jobs, come to the track and work 10, 12, 15-hour
A
days,
day. Yeah.
Friday, Saturday, Sunday, to put these races together for everybody. It is kind of a commitment of love.
Well, we were at Edgewater one year, and we had rain, and then we had a crash. And you figure we started at 8 in the morning on Sunday. That race didn't get done till 4:30 Monday morning. Between cleanup, between the rain, drying out, and it got bad because the police come in and said, "You got 10 minutes to get it over," and we were in the finals. When I got home, it was getting
So
daylight.
we've had the locals there at Edgewater, Hampton County's finest, doing their
Uh,
job, saying, "Hey, we've got to get this thing done."
mhm.
But fortunately, I usually get to like two to test. We have set hours there, but for the regular crews down there that are running like the bracket racing, there are times. I've
Oh, yeah.
experienced it too, where you don't get out of there till 2 a.m. on Saturday, and you got to be back there at 8, 9 a.m. on Sunday, ready to go for everybody. But again, it's something that they're committed to. It
Well,
is a
I was off
passion.
work, thank God for that one, because you figure I got home, it was probably about 5:30 in the morning. That's almost a 24-hour day.
Yeah.
And to get this race in, and it's there. Sometimes it's just the way the schedule is, and then the director, sometimes we don't give them enough credit, and they get a lot of heat for bad decisions. But sometimes everybody doesn't know why the decision came out. Just like, okay, do you want to come back? Where do we take it to? What do we do? Or do you want to finish it?
How far can we get into? What round?
Right.
How many rounds can we get
And then
to?
a lot of things they'll do now is they'll get into the race and say we get down to 16 cars or less. Well, you might take it, like one time Edgewater got rained out again. We took it to bowling ring and finished it. So Dick and his payroll person come down there, and we finished that race, and then we went into the bowling ring part of the race. Uh, Sometimes the racer will say, "Let's stay. We're here. Let's get her done." And then and then sometimes it's just
Is it
where it's
just split
impossible, and you got
split
to
at a
come
different
back,
round? Yeah.
and then you got to figure out a date to do that.
Well, a lot of times now I know they'll just do the payout at a certain round. They'll say we're
Right.
here
Well, but
because
there's
it is a
points
big
on the
commit.
line. Yeah.
Well, the points thing does make it tricky because we just
Mm,
recently ran into that at Edgewater. Unfortunately, we got it done. I actually was on the call that day. We ended up getting out of there till 2 a.m.
mhm.
Because it was if it would have been just a regular bracket
Oh
day, we
yeah.
could have just split that money. But points were on the line. Had to finish that thing. We are just down to our Super Pro in it. We had some weather come in, and then it's part of the race game. Then you have a spill, so
Right.
you're
Well,
pushing
it's
everything.
like Columbus just had a super stock program up there, and they were getting down to where they had 4 cars. Well, it was like rain came in. If it couldn't get it dry, they'd split the money. But see, there's no point. There's points, but it's not like divisional and national event where it's more on the line. And that's where you have the problem. You either got to take it, finish it somewhere else, or you got to come back. And it's like I said, there's a lot of tough decisions because you got to work with a track promoter, you got to work with the racers, and then what's feasible, what's good for the owner. Because as well as I do working at Edgewater, owners have got their shows booked up.
Yeah.
So do you have a free weekend? Well,
No, not really. You
so you
schedule.
can't bring it back.
Well, we had to follow up that next day with Muscle Car Sunday. I'll tell you what I did. I just turned the AC on high, kicked my feet up, and just slept in the tower. Had a cup of sleep, went up and washed off in the sink, and was ready to go for the call the next day. Oh, but Redman, I know a little heartbroken there. people you love. They have great lights, you know, it
Mhm.
just still hurts to lose them there.
Oh yeah.
But I saw you light up a little bit when you talked about their vehicles.
Oh
I know
yeah.
one of your favorite things to do on the show is sharing what I
What the
call the holy
photos.
grail, the
Yeah.
Bible of drag racing photos here, brother. What we got for
All
our
right.
first
This first
cruise
one
down
is
memory
a
lane?
factory experimental Comet. The first year, um, when they brought out the Thunderbolt and the Comets at the same time with the 427s in them. This is a Comet. It was out of date in the Walker Motor Special, and George Montgomery drove this car. And he was down there match racing against Stanley Bird's Alder wheelbase car at the time. And it was neat to have him there. And you can see people again along the fence standing to watch this car run with the 4-speed in it. And it was called the Walker Motors Special, and it was out of Dayton, which was a really good car.
Very cool.
Yeah. And the next one's like a 63, 64 Chevy running modified, which caught my eye. It really sounded healthy, and he had a little hood scoop on it. Back then, they didn't put real high hood scoops on them. They have a little one to get the air to shove in on the carburetors. Don't know any information on this car. Somebody out there might in the Cincinnati area or wherever this car was from. But it was a great modified car, and for a big body Chevrolet, it was stout. So again, you'll see in the background all the
I was
folks,
just going to
all the
say, I was
cars.
just going to say now that you know that I've noticed it through all these photos, we know where you like shooting from.
Mm-hmm.
We get that angle quite a bit. And
Mm-hmm.
another out of these two photos, but another round of cruise down memory lane with a packed house.
Oh yeah, I mean Edgewater. Me and you were talking earlier, promoting and promotions and different things, and how some of the tracks are struggling now, and to be able to survive and be able to put on shows and quality shows to get people in. Well, back then people didn't expect a lot, but if you put on a good show with regular cars they could relate to, they were there. Of course, there was more gearheads back then too.
Yep.
The kids now are into the
Well, there's so
Toyotas
much
and the
different forms of
whatever. Yeah.
entertainment.
Hmm.
I do want to sit down with you to kind of bring that. Me and you had a great conversation, a little bit of a debate. We didn't see things
Hmm.
eye to eye on. I don't know why we were making the drive down here.
Hmm.
Save that maybe for like a smaller conversation. But these are awesome rides
Oh
here.
yeah, and the people loved them. Like I say, the kids now are into a little different style. That's why NHRA involved the imports, because they saw a market there, but it kind of failed out. And kids these days are so into the iPhones, the iPads, and running all. Well, they don't run all over malls anymore because malls are getting to be a dying thing too. But
That's a running joke forever. My wrestling
yeah,
channel, the Hameen Media Group, we always show up
yeah,
there.
but
Ben Hameen, our namesake, our big the guy that lets you know everything.
yeah,
He always mentions the mall, and we're always like, "What are you talking about? No one goes to a mall."
yeah, and it's like our world is changing, evolving, and the young folks are into different stuff. And I don't know what it is or how it is. It's like you've seen here in Cincinnati, we've been having that trouble, and I'm sure other cities are where they block off a whole street and are doing that going around the circle stuff and everything.
Well, I mean, it shows that there is a desire for
Right?
racing. How can we get them at the tracks?
Yeah. Well,
How
that's
can we
it.
bring it over there? And even for the younger kids, I would suggest, like one of the things that made me fall in love with sport, football, baseball,
Mhm.
whatever, basketball. A lot of that to me was also video games.
Oh
So we
yeah.
could get like a cool video game, a computer simulation, that really taught you the ins and outs about how to build the car, how everything works, how bracket racing comes together.
Well, there
Those
is
are
some
kind of
things on Facebook. I mean, you get on there, there's a couple
I know
engine
there are
builders
some
on
games
there.
because I see some of the juniors at the track playing them on their phones.
But there's like some engine builders on Facebook explain this, explain that,
But you
chassis
got to
builders.
make it appeal to that younger
I
kid.
know, and it's hard. It's like I think we missed the boat not going to the high schools. I think at high
Hmm.
school you got them captive. They got to be at high school hopefully. So if you get into one of their schools and you could
Well,
get the
like
principal to set up a thing.
especially like especially a kid just getting that license, they're so eager to get in there, and you think,
Hmm.
yeah, you get the power of that car, and can you go fast and all that?
Well, we talked before, me and you, about having, high school day or different things to get them there. Bring them in the bus. They do it at a national event when school's going
Hmm.
on with that Army thing, but get them in there to actually see this stuff and get the feel of that motor and
What else
feel
is
of
there
different
is as
things.
a promoter, as an owner, even if you're a driver, even if you're in the crew and you want to see the sport thrive, you talked about great ambassadors.
Hmm.
We all should try to be a great ambassador no matter where we're at. I take a lot of pride in going out. I wear my Edgewater stuff all the time because it generates conversation. And I get to put over how great I think the experience is there, and how special it can be for individuals, and the memories can create to bring the kids. So we need people to go out there, let them know, hey, you're involved in this.
Well,
you're racing
I'm
for
the
money. You're a
same way.
professional athlete. So take pride in that. Let people know that kind of stuff.
I wear everybody's shirt that I get one from. If I'm not wearing one of my veterans, right here, Captain Jack, T-stock automatic. Captain Jack's a stout runner, runs stout 283 in a big 60 station wagon. And it's quick for what it is.
That's I always joke. If Edgewater goes out of business, I'll have to get a whole new wardrobe because that's all I have is my Edgewater sweatshirts and my t-shirts.
Well, I got 3 tubs at home, but I saved them because they're one of a kind. Same way as sprint cars. But it's just I don't think we're doing a good enough job to reach out to the kids, and I think that's something where everybody's missing the boat. And then when you try to talk to them, we talk about promotions, like you say, and we'll get on it maybe in another show. But the thing is I don't know. Well, don't go. I don't know. Let's give it a shot. I'm a kind of a three guy. All right. If it don't happen by the 3rd time, it's time to change. A lot of that stuff I do here at the VFW, same way, breakfast. They were ready to throw in a towel. I said, let's give it one more year. And now it's one of the most successful breakfasts for a veterans club around. And the cruise-ins, the car shows, the different things. You got to give it time to build up. You can't just go one time and go, well, I had 10 people.
Right.
Yeah.
You gotta let that work out.
You didn't get the word out enough, or you need to get these people to get the word out. You give them something to push and shove, or run some deals on the gate. With the economy like we know it is too, give them a break on the $10 a carload. What are they out? They're going to eat. They're going to drink. They're going to buy T-shirts. So if you let them in for $10 a carload, you got a crowd in there, and then you film that crowd. Then you get that more promotion thing to shove. But we'll save some of that for another day.
I know we got some other big names.
Oh yeah,
we want to talk about.
Yeah, the families. We started about the multiple players: grandpa, son, grandson. The Inman's family out of Division 4. What a group! Harvey Inman Sr. started running with us years ago. He bought a '69 Camaro from Charlie Taylor, I believe it was Charlie and Jeff Taylor, and he ran Super Stock J automatic with it. We had a son, I believe the oldest boy's name's Terry. I can't think all the twins' names. There's Jerry, and they all kind of rhyme.
They got all kinds of.
Oh yeah, but all of them run. All 4 boys run. And they are stout. They got a Lucas sponsorship. When we were talking about Lucas teams, I forgot about them. But they got a sponsorship. 18-wheeler. They haul all the cars in. They got multiple drivers with them. I know Jeff Miller from down there runs with them. And we're just a great racing family. I got a picture at home with the triplets on the golf cart, which is pretty neat. Maybe I'll find it and we'll put it on there one day. But it was neat down at Bowling Green. They're just great kids, friendly, tall. My God, they're all about 6'3", 4. Yeah. So a great family. And then on to racing teams. I found one. I popped in my head because teams will vary around and we'll find one. It was the Mancini Racing. A lot of the old timers will remember them. There was Ron Mancini who got hurt in a bad wreck at Indy one year in an A-modified Dart. He used to run Super Stock A Dart, A Hemi. Well, back then it was just Super Stock A automatic. But he changed over to modified, and he was running, and something broke on the car, and it made a left or right, and it got left rolling on the guardrail over, and it come back over on, and it kind of messed up an arm, and Ron never really drove again, but a great guy. He'll do some coverage. He sponsored a lot of cars. It was Luke Gardner, Ted Flack. God, I can't think of some of them other boys that ran for him, but he had a lot of cars. They had a yellow paint scheme, a lot of them. And it was a great team. It was out of Michigan, but it was Mancini Racing. Oh, his brother raced too. He had a brother race. And my last little topic of the day is our names. I know we're into pros right now. We will get into sportsmen, which we're trying to kind of save because I got some pictures of some really neat with names on them. So I'm trying to save that. Yeah. So I figure we get some of the pros out of the race. Top field car out of the West Coast was a neat car. 3 guys, Warren, Colburn, and Miller. And they had a team, and they raced at Edgewater Points Meet. We had that big one that year called Rain for Rent.
Rain for rent.
And I mean, it was a neat car. They were a stout player, division champion multiple times. I don't think they ever won the world, but they were stout West Coasters, and they'd come to Indy and race, and just a great team. Another car, I didn't get to see it a lot, but saw a lot of pictures of it, was called the Kingfish.
The
Barracuda.
Kingfish, I like that.
Yes, I'm trying to think of, was it a Rowe who drove that car? I think it was a guy, last name was Rowe. And he drove that car, and then a couple other people. That car basically did a lot of match racing, a lot of funny cars. There was a lot of funny cars, but a lot of them stayed in match racing because they could make more money than running the national event. And then if they were national event guys, they'd run during the week match racing to make money to be able to stay on this side of the river if they were from the West Coast, like Perdome and McEwen and them guys. So yeah, the Kingfish Barracuda was quite the car. It was a neat piece. It was the fastback, I guess you'd call it, the slant back, and it was a neat car, Kingfish Barracuda. And we'll get some more at the next one. It's just great to get our feet back wet again. You're back on the air and talk to a lot of people about it down there in Nashville about getting on there, even people that are just citizens, I call them, and spectators. And I said, man, get on there, and I promote it. I'm hoping we're having fun with it. Everybody that I talk to, either pulling my leg or whatever, maybe, I don't know, but like it. And I said, well, we're trying to make it fun. We want it to be fun for you. We want to get away from the boring stuff. There's a lot of good shows on. I'm not knocking anybody on the air.
Not that they're boring, just different. We want to be a little different. You need
They're more
to take a look back instead of everything modern and hectic that's going on. Right. The technical aspect of it. We're for the character, the stories, and the memories that are created.
Right. And story time. Can't tell a little story. I went to the only time I ever got to go, 1984. I got to go to Montreal, Canada. What a road trip. I didn't know where I was going. So back when we used to have Fuzzbusters, everybody remember the Fuzzbuster? I pull up going across the bridge there, and the guy said, you want to take that down? I said, yes, sir. So we got into Canada, and we crossed to Detroit there, and I took that, I think it's 201, 301, whatever it is, all the way to Montreal. I didn't think we'd ever get there. Beautiful place, though. The track was neat. The track had these humongous speakers. I mean, from this floor to the ceiling of this room, tall speakers, and across the top of the tower. That was the sound system. And a lady I was dating with at the time that I took with us, she was working at the tower. Another little story people don't know. You had indexes cards of every racer. Mm-hmm. So it'd have Rich Victory driving a 68 Camaro from Cincinnati, Ohio, super stock, whatever. And they would hold it up for the announcer. And then when he'd get done, they'd put it back in the file and keep rolling. That's how the announcers announced. They'd hold up these cards for them to read.
Now we got it all computerized. Everything just pops right on that screen for you.
So right where they're at. You had two girls, right? So this tower set up on a hill, like there was a rise. If anybody's ever seen pictures of Olsenair, it's pretty neat. It's set up on a rise, so you were looking down the track. And announcer had to be able to talk two languages. You get it in French. English at first, French second.
Oh, that's crazy.
Oh, every word. To be Rich Vickery, and then to be try to tell it in French.
Ooh la la.
Yeah. Well, this track at the end of the track, or end of the property, was this humongous silo that was built as a house. At the end of the track, this was like a silo. You look down, that's what it was.
Pretty cool.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. And then I was there the year Shirley took her bad ride. She took a bad ride there. Something blew. Car made a hard left, went up over the guardrail. The tires went way up in the air and broke the frame, messed her leg up bad. And I'll never forget Buster walked down there. And he always told me the story. He said, yeah, I walked down there to hold her hand. She says, I'm hurt, ain't I? He goes, yeah, but you're going to be okay. And Buster was good at that. He was a great guy. And took her a while to come back. She came back, raced again, won some events, and now she's on the tour, doing pictures and souvenirs.
Very, very cool. Still involved. That's what's important there.
Oh, yeah. It's promotions again, like we talked. There's a bring into your track. And Shirley Madowny's going to be at the track, signing autographs, yada, yada, yada. So, it's just different things. Her and Garlitz both do it. Garlitz is in his 90s, and he's still out there doing this stuff. So But that's what I got for this week. We don't want to drag everybody out too long, get too long-winded, which I could go if I had to.
I'll say we'll go ahead. Thank you guys for joining us on this episode. Hey, we had a lot of good ideas. We're going to keep rolling on, keep coming at you. Great conversation, great memories. But until next time, you've been listening and watching Redman in the House. Hey, it's a podcast.
See y'all.